to DQP Does, the Drafty Quarters Podcast Network's movie review show, where we talk about stuff other than movies for the most part. I am your host, Shane. With me this evening is Nathan, my co-host.
Hey, how's it going?
And as always, our producer, Russell.
What up?
This evening we watched Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
I can't see anything in this helmet,
Told you not to wear it.
but it's so comfortable.
I can't see anything with the blast shield down. Oh my god. All right, let's get right into it then. Cast. If you guys haven't seen this movie,
Fuck off.
what the fuck? It came out in 1977. Let's catch up here. There's like 25 new movies coming out or have come out in the last 15 years about this. So
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot coming.
Yeah.
Down the pipe, you know, with Disney Plus and everything coming out. But let's get into this cast. Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker. Harrison Ford is Han Solo. Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia Organa. Peter Cushing as Grand Moff Tarkin. Rest in peace. Alec Guinness as Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm pretty sure he has also passed away.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Anthony Daniels actually just recently passed away.
Yeah.
As C-3PO. Kenny Baker as R2-D2. I started this, and now I feel bad if I'm going to miss somebody. He also passed away a couple years ago. Peter Mayhew. He's the one, I think Peter Mayhew's the one that actually recently passed away in April of this year.
Correction, Anthony Daniels is still alive.
Anthony Daniels is still alive. Sorry, Anthony. Sorry. We got you and Peter mixed up. David Prowse Prowse. It's got a W in the middle. I'm not sure. Was the physical Darth Vader, where God damn it! Why do I always blank?
James
Earl Jones' name. He was the voice of Darth Vader.
But it wasn't supposed to be that way.
It wasn't?
No.
Okay.
He was supposed to voice him. He did all the lines. They just voiced over with James Earl Jones.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Imagine how mad you would be just to play the character but not voice it and not be iconically recognized for that.
That's unfortunate.
Was there a particular reason why, or
is he British?
I guess we'll have to look into that, huh?
Did he do like an accent or something?
Maybe we'll look into it.
All right. Anyway, Phil
I'm firing
Brown.
up the Google machine right
All
now.
right. Phil Brown is Uncle Owen, and Shelley. It's spelled very interestingly, almost like Shillelagh. Shelagh Fraser as Aunt Beru. I mean, at the time, Peter Cushing mattered, and then, like, everyone else was like super young. Yeah, I mean, there was a bunch of character actors in it.
Oh, yeah, as far as like who was popular at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Cushing was a pretty big name to attach to the project.
Yeah, there was a lot of older actors in it that were like character actors.
Yeah.
And I've seen
Like
in a lot of
Alec.
other things, yeah.
Like Alec had a decent career, but I mean, this was a pretty big milestone for him.
Right. That he's not fond of, or wasn't fond of, after the fact.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wasn't a fan of the movie.
So James Earl Jones was uncredited in this. He was paid $7,500 for his contributions to the film, which were recorded in just 2.5 hours on March 1st, 1977. Jones chose to go uncredited for his performance and insisted that his contributions were just special effects. And Prowse, Jones once told Star Wars Insiders, is Vader. So
What
he
the
says, yeah,
fuck?
he's Vader.
But he's
I just
not.
did some special effects. I voiced the fucking character.
In 2.5 hours? That's like barely more than the runtime.
Dude, he made $7,500 for 2.5 hours work.
It's a 2 hour and 1 minute movie. He had like 3 lines that he took more than once. Or he had a half-hour break in the middle.
He had to find. He had to find the perfect. No,
No, that's a different movie.
I know, but I just like doing it.
So one of the things right out of the gate in this movie, well, I mean, maybe 10, 15 minutes in.
Let me talk about James Earl Jones real quick.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
All right, all right.
While we're on the subject of him, I don't want to have to come back to it. But Mike Rowe has a podcast where called The Way I Heard It. And he tells these short 7 to 8 minute stories. And there's one about James Earl Jones that's really good. And when James Earl Jones was a kid, he, or not even necessarily just when he was a kid, but it was really bad when he was a kid. He stuttered all the time, constantly, and he couldn't really talk. And then one day he got up in class and recited a poem without stuttering whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that kind of propelled him to go on. And when he was learning things and memorizing what he was saying, he wouldn't stutter.
Right.
So that kind of propelled him into becoming an actor and stuff.
Right.
Because it was something he could do, learning the lines without having to be afraid of getting up in front of people. And
that makes sense.
I always loved that story because I thought it was kind of inspiring. Like, he has this almost debilitating thing, and it just by random circumstance, he kind of discovered a talent and a way around it. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of good stuff.
Yeah, it's nifty. I mean, like, it makes sense because of like what a lot of I've read about, like, stuttering and like certain speech impediments are from, is like anxiety and things like that. So when you're like trying to think of what to say,
right,
you can like stammer or pause or forget what you were going to say or stutter or whatever, and it comes out that way. So then if you're memorizing it and you're just going off of a script, or you're reading something, then it can become easier to get it all out, as long as you're not so far in your head that you're like, I can't even talk. But some people are like that, and some of it's not from anxiety. Some of it's from like physical or mental thing.
Yeah,
it's beyond anxiety.
Apparently, Prowse's West Country English accent wasn't cutting it for Lucas.
Okay,
so that's why.
Yeah, like I thought maybe he was British or something and had the accent going on.
I have you now. No? Okay.
You sounded like a southern, like, gentleman.
Yeah, whatever.
That was very strange. All right, so let me get to bitching about Mark Hamill here. We bitched about all the other main characters that were big crybabies. And oh my god, I wanted to go to Tachi Station to buy some evaporators.
Even the fucking voice he uses. Oh my god.
It is grating. I know I started to notice it later. Like when I was a kid, I didn't give a shit. I was like, yeah, that's how I sound when I don't get my way.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to play with my action figures. I don't want to go to bed or whatever. And I just, I want to choke him.
Yeah.
I want to choke the motherfucker. And I know it's the character. And it's not, I don't think it's as bad as Anakin.
No, it's not. It's not as bad.
But it's still pretty fucking annoying, at least in the first like half of the movie.
Yeah.
After that, all of a sudden, he's like not like that anymore.
Yeah. He's not as fazed by the terrible things. And
not even terrible things. It's like, oh man, Obi-Wan dies and he's just like sitting there picking at the chessboard with his finger. And he's like, I wish Ben were still here. There's no like weird inflection on it or anything.
Yeah.
There's no high pitched, like there's no crying. And before it was like, Luke, I need you to do this thing for me. Uncle Owen.
Well, I think it was the blue milk.
It did a body good, and he just
No,
grew
once
up.
he got away from it, like,
Oh, it was turning
stop
him
making him a little bitch.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Okay, I mean, it's better than any other explanation that I could come up with. Just bad writing or bad
direction.
acting or bad direction or whatever.
Yeah, like I really like Mark Hamill, especially like moving forward the next couple movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was a
and, like,
fucking kid in this.
Yeah, like this is like his first real big thing, and so like I get it. But I really don't like Luke in this movie.
Yeah. Let's see, how old was he? He was 20, probably 24 or 25 when this was filming, because it came out in 77. He was born in 51. So, I mean, he was not a child, but still really young.
Yeah,
Early role,
yeah,
pretty poor acting
yeah,
for the most part. I really like the acting towards the end.
yeah.
Like he kind of fell into more of what Luke becomes later towards
Yeah.
the end, and it fit. I don't know if that's more just closer to what Mark is.
yeah.
And like he was like, when he was doing the whiny shit at the beginning, he was just overdoing it because he's not
Yeah.
like that, or I don't know.
I also feel like it could have been like he could have been getting advice from some of the other cast, like moving forward. Like I mean, Harrison
that's
Ford
true.
in this is already fantastic. Like
Oh yeah,
like he's just a natural. He's also probably just himself.
he's just that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think we've figured this out as we've gone through and talked about Harrison Ford in various movies, and it's just been like, that's just him. That's
Yeah.
just how Harrison Ford is.
He just
And he
gets
just
to
got
play himself.
crankier as he got older. And that was the only difference, and that's like you can see it in his characters.
Get off my plane.
Yes. I watched that movie so fucking much when I was a kid.
But you can get on my ship if you give me money.
Yeah. 17,000 credits.
Yeah.
Oh man.
How are they going to pay him?
So the upfront payment was from his speeder,
Right.
and then they were going to get money from the rebellion when they got there.
Do you think? I mean, they paid him, I guess.
Yeah. They paid him.
They paid him Luke and Ben's half on top of, saving a princess.
Right.
Okay. So
Yeah.
he had the money to pay off Jabba.
Yes. But he never does.
Because he's Han.
Because it's fucking Han. And
Fuck
he's like,
Jabba.
I have all this money, and now I'm with the rebellion. How's this gangster going to come after me?
Does anyone think it's weird though? The beginning of this movie,
Which part?
like, okay, so like they got plans for the Death Star, and Leia, gives them the R2 and says,
Okay.
find Ben,
Right.
find Obi.
Find Obi-Wan.
Vader's raining terror through the ship. The little trash can gets sent down to Tatooine,
Uh-huh.
and then gets picked up by the
Jawas.
Jawas, and then sold. Just happened to get sold
It's the Force, man.
to
See,
Luke.
like this is the best explanation for like
the Force.
anything. No, it
Dude,
totally is though.
That's
Like the best explanation, like actually explaining plot armor and like just happenstance that is totally plot hole. Like
Yeah.
if it had, if they hadn't gotten picked
Yeah.
up by the Jawas,
we just
or-
happened to be driving
Yeah.
by the
That's
planet
'cause-
that my brother's on.
because destiny exists in this universe. So it had to happen.
Yeah, and then they're standing there, the droids are standing there, and R2's like, I gotta be the one that gets picked, and the other one gets picked. He's like, fuck, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, and then the
Then
other
he
one breaks
fucking
down.
head blows off.
Yeah. And Ben just happens to be around when Luke gets knocked
Yeah.
out by a fucking Tusken Raider. Yeah, I mean all of the little happenstance things that where like if you really examine it, it's like this would fall apart in the real world because none of this shit would actually happen. It's because of the Force, and it's like being pushed in this one direction. At least until the Force becomes little cells in people's bodies and isn't existence in the universe that flows through and in between all things.
Midichlorians. Midiot chlorine.
Yeah.
It's
Wash
an
my
idiot
brain with some chlorine
bullshit.
after watching those movies.
All
Anyway.
right, yeah, I just wanted to say that. Yeah,
That's my explanation for it. I mean, obviously, since the creator of the shit, like,
it's just an easy
eventually
explanation.
It is, but like, at least it has one, as opposed to most
Yeah.
movies where shit happens and there's like no way to explain it.
I'm just gonna use that excuse for everything.
Well, the Force.
Like, why did the dog sit on the floor? Destiny.
Yeah,
The Force pulled it out.
yeah, the Force made him shit right there.
You want to talk?
I'd have left 5 minutes early. It's probably a car wreck somewhere.
Yeah.
You want to talk about all the hate on the Tusken Raiders?
Oh man.
Yeah.
No.
They need to remake this movie a little bit more PC for the Tusken Raiders. I'm just saying.
They just need to put in Tusken Raiders instead of Sand People. And it'll be fine.
So offensive for them.
But anyway, I think all that's going to come out. Maybe. I don't know.
I was trying to make it as nice as possible.
But anyway, how about, we talked about Mark Hamill. We talked about Harrison Ford. What about Carrie Fisher?
I think that she does probably the best job of the cast as far as like acting goes. Because she's an asshole.
Yeah,
but it's fucking awesome.
She's like that, like tough princess that's like kind of a tomboy, but not really.
Yeah,
like she's tough and can do things herself. She's a strong, independent woman, and she don't need no man.
Right.
But like, she's got that like aristocracy kind of like, you're a fucking dirty smuggler. Why are you looking at me like
scruffy nerf herder?
Yeah. That's not this movie yet.
No, not yet.
That's the next one. Or the one after that.
Yeah, and I think she did a really good job playing that strong character that's also like still kind of relatable, because she has a couple points where she like appears at least like kind of vulnerable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody is vulnerable when fucking Vader's standing there.
Yeah.
So,
but even when Luke shows up in the stormtrooper outfit, like he looks kind of imposing, because he's dressed as a stormtrooper, and she's just like, "Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?"
Yeah.
Like degrading.
Yeah, because
like,
she's a fucking prick the whole time.
Yeah, and it's fucking great. I really like
Somebody
it.
get this walking carpet out of my way.
Yeah, I also think it was good for the times. That she was a really good character to be portrayed, and she was
she was a damsel in distress, but that's not all she was.
Yeah,
because it wasn't like it was because she was weak. It's because like
she
one of the most powerful
characters
in the universe came after her. And, if it was just like some random dudes, she would have torn him up. But since it was fucking Vader and nobody can currently take him in that universe,
the Force is working on that.
Yeah, so then, it was in a minute. There will be somebody, but not yet.
You think she was just grumpy because she didn't have any support?
She didn't have any support.
Bra.
God dang it.
Why's that got to be an edit?
What was the purpose?
Why wasn't she allowed to wear that? And didn't you listen to any interviews she's ever done?
She wasn't allowed to wear a bra?
No. They didn't feel like in space that women wore those.
I mean, that's fucked up.
Fuck.
I wish I was lying.
Oh my God. No, I mean, I know there was like a ton of.
Wouldn't
like,
you be
fucked
grumpy
up
too?
Shit. No, yeah, but I mean, not, like when you're filming, maybe they were like, "Oh yeah, that's cool."
Yeah,
but she was really actually pissed.
Yeah, she was like, "I gotta run around all the time. This is bullshit."
Yeah, I mean, it is bullshit. There was a lot of weird stuff like that was going on the sets of every movie, not just this one. But this one
was a. It's a sci-fi movie.
Yeah. I don't understand. Well, ladies wouldn't be wearing bras in space. That's what, because 0G, like no gravity is gonna hold them up. There's still fucking gravity on this ship and the space station.
I don't fucking
and
know.
shit.
I'm not George Lucas. Okay.
What thought process goes into that?
I can tell you the thought process.
I know what the thought process is.
Okay,
we're
well,
gonna put butts in the seats with titties, but without actually showing them.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
I mean, I don't agree with it either. That's why I think she was grumpy.
I like titties as much as the next straight dude, but
You don't have to confess it like we know.
yeah, I know.
Are you
I know
defending
you know.
yourself?
No, I'm saying like I enjoy them, but
Okay.
like that's not necessary to do that kind of shit just to be like, yeah, some dude's gonna look at that and he's gonna come watch this movie because of it.
Apparently, George Lucas has been to a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
It was like they
It was
don't
like-
have bras.
It was like, hey, excuse me, ma'am, do you wear a brassiere? And she's like, go the fuck away, skin bag.
She was probably like, no, because she didn't know what the fuck that was. It was
Yeah.
called something else.
Yeah.
God damn. Anyway,
It's called a Tata wrap. That's what they call them on Tatooine. I just made it up.
no shit.
22 minutes.
Yep.
We're still at no edits. I feel like.
Yeah. I'm talking about the movie, am I not?
No, you're fine.
Making points.
I
I want to know things too.
mean, let's move on. Peter Cushing, Alec Guinness, they were good.
They also didn't wear a bra.
That would explain why Chewie was so pissed. He was just
Anyway.
That was Peter Mayhew.
Peter Cushing wasn't wearing one either.
Grand Moff Tarkin. I feel like he was probably wearing a girdle or something, though.
Yeah,
Dude,
so
I fucking love Grand Moff in this. He just commands so much respect when you like watch him on the fucking screen.
It's fucking Peter Cushing.
So I haven't watched this in a few years, 9, maybe 10 years.
That seems like a long time.
Yeah, it's been a minute. And I never realized that like Vader wasn't in charge.
Yeah.
Like
Grand Moff's
Till
in fucking
today?
charge.
Like I didn't get because there's no one ever says it. Like no one
Right.
ever says I'm in charge or whatever. There's that one small scene where Vader loses his shit and chokes the guy,
Right.
but then stops. And I caught it this time. I just thought he just stopped
No.
because it was like, oh, I'm not gonna kill this guy. But it's Tarkin. Tarkin's like, that's enough. And
Yeah.
Vader's like, as you wish.
Mhm.
Which means I love you and the Princess Bride, but so there's a theory there, but
What?
but I never realized it till this watch through that like Vader's just he's not in charge. He is like how the Jedi were in 1, 2, and 3, where he's just there as like support and to offer guidance and to take care of shit that other people
Yeah,
can't take care
and
of.
when like the person that's in charge puts him in charge of a group of people, then he's in charge of them, and he has
Yeah.
no qualms about telling them exactly what to do.
Yeah. And he like listens to Tarkin and everything too. And I just I like catching those nuances this time through. I was just like, oh shit. I was like, that's actually fucking cool.
Yeah, it makes the first 3 make a whole lot more sense as far as that goes. If you didn't catch that I mean, not necessarily the first time, because the first time for us was probably when we were all fucking little kids.
Yeah.
But like the more recent times you've watched it and, you know, been cognizant of all the little things. But I mean, he becomes in charge later, but he's still under the Emperor.
Yeah.
So he's kind of in that position the whole time. And it's a little different in the next 2 movies, but it's similar.
Right.
I don't know. I love Grand Moff Tarkin, and I'm sad that he died in one movie.
Yeah, there wasn't enough of him.
What?
I mean, I read the thing to back up what I was talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah. No, I believed you.
No, flat out, he said there's no underwear in space.
You know what? I think I like
That
remember
was George
hearing
Lucas.
somebody say that.
Thing. But she used gaff tape.
Okay. I mean, that's
So there you go.
yeah.
So
Sacrifice.
does that? I want to know if Harrison Ford had underwear on.
See, I like how he went straight to Harrison Ford. He didn't talk about anybody else. He went straight to the man, Harrison Ford.
Where did
I mean,
you
I don't
think he
give
was
a
gonna
fuck
go?
if Hamill's wearing underwear.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all know about his love affair with Harrison Ford because, that fucking movie was made to watch.
Talking about the really good slow burn.
You want to say really good.
Jesus. Why don't I don't.
It's like the
We need to
Yankee
watch
Candle of cinema.
Chinatown. Just like watch it, not necessarily to do a podcast. Just watch it to see if he likes it or not.
Is Harrison Ford in it?
No, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
Who's
Harrison
that?
Ford's older brother.
God damn it, no. Don't do
Should
that.
be. I want a movie set in the 90s where Jack Nicholson plays Harrison Ford's older brother. Like them from the 90s. They can't make it now. So I'm sad.
I was like, what?
But
What
I mean,
the
they should
fuck?
make a movie with Jack Nicholson and Harrison Ford now where they're just a couple of old fucks.
Grumpy
Still
Old
Brothers.
Men reboot.
two
No.
brothers.
No, don't do that because Walter
It's
Matthau and Jack Lemmon were the shit.
It's like a gritty action sci-fi Grumpy Old Men.
Yes.
Okay.
Two brothers. I just keep doing it.
Yeah. Two old men
Two old
And their
men
brothers.
and their brothers.
in a retirement home.
In space. On the moon of Xerxalis.
What?
I don't know. I was
When
almost
the universe is at
Cialis.
the edge of entropy.
And it's like, he's like, can you believe this shit, Harrison? This fucking drug they got us on? Then Harrison Ford's like, get off my IV.
What the fuck?
I don't know, but there's the scene set. You didn't think you were going to get it, but you got it here. You didn't have to go to Patreon to get it either. So you're
Oh,
welcome.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then Keanu Reeves shows up.
Oh, fuck.
he's their grandson,
No. He's the nurse.
but he's also their grandson. And
That's-
he doesn't know it.
A nurse.
Yeah.
What? I just wanted to say Merce.
Okay. All right.
Are you going to do the voice?
Two brothers.
What the fuck? That has nothing to do with the scene. Get out of here.
Oh, but he shows up and he's like, guys,
Yeah,
the galaxy is in peril.
Get off my bedpan.
And then they have to fight Michael Keaton and James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones is dead, I think.
No, I don't think so.
Is he not dead? I just think everyone that was in this movie is dead except for Mark Hamill. Oh, shit. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. I forgot to say that for her.
Yeah.
I just looked at James Earl Jones still alive.
He's still alive? Holy
Yeah.
shit, that's awesome.
So they have to fight Michael Keaton, James Earl Jones, and
No,
it's just-
James Earl Jones just voices.
He voices Michael Keaton.
Oh my God! Yes.
It's like, you see, Keanu, everything the light touches is ours.
What about that dark place?
We don't go to the dark place.
Oh my god. All right. Anyway.
What were we talking about? Our improv. comedy
Hope.
Bill and
podcast?
Ted.
A New Hope.
Oh, right.
All right. So unfortunately, we had to watch like the 1997 or whatever.
Remaster special effects edition.
Dude, I don't know. I bought it on Blu-ray when the pack came out.
No, that's
George.
Like Saga
you
pack
can't.
with
You
all of
can't
them.
get. I don't think you can get the theatrical on like anything
You
anymore.
can't. We watched the version.
We need
where-
reel to reel. That's what we need.
We watched the version that Lucas did after he got bored and realized Star Wars was his only good idea he ever had, and he just went back to redo it.
Indiana Jones was good.
That wasn't George Lucas's idea.
Oh, I mean, he did it, though.
That's Spielberg.
But he did it. It's like a Lucas thing. It's got the Lucas thing at the beginning.
Yeah, because he like owns Harrison Ford.
Whoa.
Lucas Theatrical or
does.
Sound and Light or whatever.
I don't
I
know.
can't
I
think
just
what
seen the
fuck that
Lucas thing. I
company's called.
thought it was all Lucas.
No, it's Spielberg.
No, Spielberg.
I don't know what Spielberg does.
Okay.
Jurassic
Anyway.
Park.
So we had to watch the 97 version, and they added all these bullshit CG scenes and just like stuff into the background, and it's fucking awful. They had decent. It's not amazing. It was amazing for 1977, but it's not amazing practical effects for 99% of the movie. Well, I mean the whole movie back then, but now it's like got all this extra dumb shit, like animals that don't need to be there, and like they added some random aliens to the cantina scene, and like stormtroopers riding these big weird like half hippo half rhino things in the desert when they're looking for C-3PO and R2-D2, and there's no reason for any of that shit to be in the movie.
No, there's not.
Absolutely none. It was just like, we need an excuse to re-release this after we just re-released the THX remaster of the audio. Because they just did that in like maybe 93 to 95, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we're going to do another one right afterwards and put all this CG garbage in so we can sell the whole box set again.
Yeah.
And it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's been a money grab ever since he realized, I can make money off this.
Yeah.
So, legit though, he hasn't directed anything but a Star Wars movie after he directed Star Wars: A New Hope.
Jesus Christ.
Not a thing. He directed Star Wars Episode 1. So he directed A New Hope. He directed The Phantom Menace. He directed Attack of the Clones, and he directed Revenge of the Sith. And then he directed the Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope deleted scenes that came out in 2011.
What?
So even more stuff came out in 2011 based off of the 1977 Star Wars movie. Prior to that, he did American Graffiti, which I didn't realize he directed American Graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple other things, mostly shorts that I assume he did in college.
Yeah. I mean, the direction for A New Hope is not great, but it's not awful either. There's like a lot of editing snafus.
Yeah.
There's a couple, especially like surrounding like the super fast blast doors and like lightsabers turning on and off and stuff like that.
Yeah, like there's almost every time a lightsaber turns on, there's weird edit tracking where like it wasn't matched right.
Yeah, well, because they like it's not a retractable thing, so they like had two different props. They had the open one and the closed one.
Right, and
they just like they weren't standing exactly the same when they took the next shot.
Yeah,
and they were just like, "Well, we're just gonna match it up as close as we can." And there's like a 6-inch difference in where somebody's head was or something, so it looks terrible.
Yeah.
So he wrote all the Indiana Jones movies, I see. Like the stories.
Who?
Lucas.
He has a credit. I don't think he wrote the screenplays.
I mean, credit when it says story by.
He was a consultant, I thought.
I'm looking at IMDb under writer. That's all I'm doing.
I have no idea.
Well, he also gets a writing credit on anything Star Wars, just because
he wanted to be
the
Stanley.
I mean, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. I just seen story by.
Yeah, so story by is typically a consulting credit. Or he might have had the original idea.
So if you put a period on there, you get a writing credit.
Probably takes more than that, but
An
because
apostrophe and a period.
So the rule in music is 3 words. If you contribute 3 words to a song and they're used in the song, you get a writing credit and you get a point. So if you like write a verse, you get a couple points on a song, which gives you royalties when it gets put out or if it gets used in something.
How many points does it take to continue to the next level?
It depends on what you consider the next level.
Platinum.
And inflation.
I don't know. I just had questions. I'm trying to educate myself here.
It's literally just a way of divvying up money when the publishing and, all the money comes in from selling the music.
Okay.
Or putting it into a sync, like putting it in a movie or a commercial or a video game or whatever.
All right.
TV show.
A screenplay by credit is given to the person or team who wrote the scenes and dialogue of the screenplay but didn't generate the idea for the story. A written by credit is given to the person or team who both conceived of the story and wrote the screenplay. It usually merges story by and screenplay by. So story by is like a consultant credit. So if you had an idea or concept and gave it to someone else, you would get a story by credit. Screenplay is where you sat down and did the line by line writing. And then written by is full on, you came up with the story and you wrote the screenplay. And he has a written by credit for A New Hope. And then he has a story by credit for The Empire Strikes Back.
Huh.
And then he has a screenplay by and story by credit for Return of the Jedi. So he was part of the team on Return of the Jedi.
There's a reason why one of these movies is better than the others.
And then, yes, he has story by credits on the Indiana Jones movies.
Oh, I mean, originally when he wrote it, it was Indiana Smith.
That's ridiculous.
In 1973. But I think the character was loosely based off of the Indiana Jones stuff because the person that wrote the screenplay was like Lawrence something. For all we know, he could have just stole someone's idea.
We are
Whoa, hold on. Star Wars is an original idea that
12
he came up with all on
parsecs
himself. There was nothing that existed
topic.
prior to Star Wars, like Star Wars. I don't sound sarcastic, but I mean to be.
Oh.
Star Wars is actually that is something he was accused of, was ripping Star Wars off of a, was it like an Italian film? Like a
I don't remember.
1960s Italian film or something.
I don't know. You guys are the ones that are looking all this shit up. He's often acknowledged he simply borrowed the idea from Akira Kurosawa's 1958 samurai classic, The Hidden Fortress.
I think that's what it was. It's the Hidden Fortress Kurosawa film. But he said Star Wars was his homage to it.
Okay. There's a ton of people that stole from that guy.
I don't dislike Lucas necessarily by any means, but like, I really just like if he wouldn't have had Star Wars. Like,
Well,
we
I
have
feel
no
like
fucking clue who this
he
guy
kept
is.
trying to improve on something that didn't need improved.
Yeah.
Like, it was fine the way it was done originally, and he's like, let's add in some fucking flying robots right here and some little fucking creatures that are scurrying about.
Yeah, there's already like 3 establishing shots of the land speeder going from the aunt and uncle's house to Mos Eisley, but we're gonna add 2 more so that we can CG in some like rats running away from the land speeder as it's going over land.
Yeah, which
What?
one of those land speeder shots is really fucking good. I think it's the one where he's initially going to. I think it's the one where he initially leaves, and like the music is really good behind it, and just the scene overall. And then as soon as he pulls into Mos Eisley,
You mean
or not Mos Eisley,
the original one? The shot that was already in the movie.
Yeah, the original one. The first one. Like I said,
yeah, it's a great shot.
It's a great shot.
And then they added like 3 more after it. And it's like, why?
Yeah. And I mean, I get it. Like, you make a movie in 1977 and then, 20 years later, you're like, oh, look at all this technology. But like, you don't go back and
make
try
a
to fix
new
the
movie.
You make a new fucking movie. Like, which he also did. And we still bitched about. But
Yeah,
it's kind of like when you draw a picture and you're like, it's perfect. Then you're like, no, I'm going to add some other shit to it. And then you add too much shit.
Or you
now you got some
while
big
you're adding
fucking
shit.
dinosaur lizard looking things that don't look like they belong in your picture.
Yeah. Yep. No, I mean, that's exactly what happened.
I once, there's a quote, I don't remember who it's by, but it's what makes a great artist is just simply knowing when to stop.
Yeah.
Because
fucking Lars Ulrich says that in some kind of monster documentary.
Fuck.
No, I mean
it's right, but
you're like quoting someone else, but he's like, he's like looking at like a painting, and he's like, and it's like the painting's fucking dumb. It's like got a bunch of like weird random symbols and stuff on it, and it's like black in the background, and then there's like red and gold splattered on it and shit, and it's got like timepieces and shit on it. And he's like, I'm looking at this and I wonder when, he thinks he's done. And he's like, it's kind of like when you think about a song, like, when do you know a song is done? And it's a similar thing, like, when do you stop adding to something?
Right.
Because there's definitely things that are overwrought.
Yeah.
Right. And there's things that are maybe too little.
Yeah.
But there's a sweet spot, and that's part of the art.
Yeah.
And that was kind of lost in these versions of these movies. The theatrical releases, if we could go watch that right now,
be fucking awesome.
The only thing that would really be wrong with it is a little bit of acting and a little bit of directing and editing.
Yeah.
Honestly. I love the story.
And even then, like, some of the acting I can excuse because, like, they didn't, like, this is a milestone. Like, this is a huge piece of cinema.
Right.
And it's like they like, how do you, when you're breaking that wall, like, usually those first things aren't necessarily that great, but I do feel like they did a very comparable job for breaking that wall.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, creating this thing and putting these actors in these situations where they have to act in ways where they necessarily haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, just kind of, I mean, you're still pretending, but it's also just like a whole different realm. And I've read some interviews and seen some stuff where they were talking about they didn't understand how the film was going to get put together.
Right.
They were just so confused with shooting it that they just didn't understand what was going on. And then they watched it and they were like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really anything like it before that. And I mean, there's tons of shit that's aped it since then.
Yeah.
So it was an important movie. And you can forgive some things, but going back and adding dumb shit, I can't forgive.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Like, if we had the raw theatrical cuts, like, watching those, like, they would probably be, like, almost damn near, like, the stuff that would be, once you excuse the stuff that's excusable, like, they would probably damn near be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I enjoy like remastering. That's totally different,
right?
Because you're just taking what was already there, and it's basically like, damn it, I can't think of the fucking word.
Reinvigorating.
Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. But when you do that to art, like, you go back and you clean it up and you fix it.
Oh yeah, that's a word.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Now I can't think of it. Or if you like, you like buy something and fix it up, like, also interchangeable.
Restore.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're looking for? Restore?
Jesus Christ.
I think I was trying to think of polish, but yeah, whatever.
Guys trying to think of them big ass words over there.
Yeah, it's
Restored.
But anyway, it's just restoring the original, bringing it up to the standards of today as opposed to like adding shit.
Right.
Making the colors brighter, making the sounds clearer. So you can see and hear things that maybe you didn't hear before or see before, but they were there.
Yeah.
Just now you can see it.
Yeah. Which is what they should have done with this instead of just...
I mean, they already did it. They did it
revamp.
right before this.
Yeah. Well, it was where they should have left it then.
Yeah. For fucking sure. They should have. All right. I feel like we've kind of beat this to death already. What?
I really like the pacing. My two favorite things about this movie are the way it's paced.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's 2 hours, and I don't think it feels like 2 hours.
2 hours and 1 minute.
2 hours and 1 minute. I would probably say it feels much closer to like 95, maybe 100 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's paced really well. And then my absolute 100% favorite thing about the movie is the score.
Oh yeah,
John Williams did an amazing job.
Amazing.
Taking a movie where you haven't seen anything like this before,
right,
and putting this ridiculous score behind it that feels spacey.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't have all these exaggerated electronics going on.
Right.
It's a orchestral score, and it still feels
it's not
like it's in space.
Yeah, it's not new wave.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think new wave was around yet, but
No, I don't either. So he just took some basics and applied them,
right,
and then put together this just like amazing score that still.
Yeah, from
stands.
the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
It starts, and like everybody knows that song.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean it's fantastic. I love the score in this movie, and all these movies. All these first three, that are actually the second three, which is confusing
to non-Star Wars fans.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I imagine at the time it was like, what the fuck is this, episode 4?
Yeah. I remember when so my VHS box set that I have was the first VHS box set that came out that said episode 4, and they hadn't announced new Star Wars movies yet. They released that VHS box set before they announced the new movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it said 4, 5, and 6, and people were like, "What the fuck?" Because they used to vault stuff, right? You remember that? Disney still does it, but everything.
They're about to do it to a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
they're about to put a bunch of Fox movies in the vault.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh shit,
yeah.
Buy your shit.
Yep,
buy it now. But other than Disney, like Disney is about the only one that does it now.
Mm-hmm.
But like everyone used to do it. They would vault shit, and then they would release it once every couple years.
Right.
So when they brought the Star Wars, they unvaulted it and brought it out, and then it said 4, 5, and 6 on it. I remember like people were confused, like what the fuck is going on, and then it was like a couple months after that they announced new movies coming out and that they would be prequels.
Right.
But like prequels weren't really. Like, prequels were damn near unheard of.
Yeah, they didn't
at
do
the time. That wasn't a regular thing. So.
Yep. All right. You guys want to rate this?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go first. This version of A New Hope is going to get a 7 from me. I fucking hate everything that they added to it. One of the worst things they added to it was, I believe it was a deleted scene. I'm probably gonna catch hell for this if I'm incorrect about it at all, but there's a whole scene where Han is talking to Jabba in the hangar that the Millennium Falcon is in, and they actually shot this when they made the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it uses some lines that he uses with Greedo. And they ended up cutting it. Now, I believe one of the lines Han says that you're a wonderful human being or something like that. And the reason he said that is because I'm pretty sure. Are you fact checking me? No, okay. I'm pretty sure that Jabba was originally supposed to be a person,
Yeah.
not like a weird fat slug thing.
Yeah, he's like a dude in a fur vest.
Yeah. So like they added some weird shit where Han like steps on his tail and shit, which is freaking ridiculous. Like I don't understand. It's just dumb. So then he kind of like does like this weird like he's walking and then he kind of just goes up and then he comes back down because he stepped on Jabba's tail. It's fucking dumb. Hey, there we go. We got a picture of it. I am not incorrect. But yeah. And I mean, I don't know what happened with the scene where they couldn't use it and they decided not to use it. I don't know if it was because they didn't like the actor or because they decided while they were shooting that they wanted to make Jabba into a weird fat slug thing. But whatever the case was, they should not have brought that scene back, especially because God, he just looks fucking awful. It looks like a PS2 game.
Yeah.
I mean, so bad. I want to know how much that cost. Just go back and be like, don't spend that money on this movie and just give it to me.
Yeah.
And I will return your investment. But yeah, I mean, I would give this version a 7. The actual theatrical release or the THX remaster, I'd probably give it an 8.5. It's literally losing a 1.5 just for that crap CG that is throughout the movie. I mean, there's
I get that.
a few spaceship scenes that don't look terrible, but you can tell the difference between the practical effects and the CG.
Yeah.
So
It's very easy to tell.
yeah, it's very easy to tell because it was 97 or whatever, so it's not that great. They weren't even capable of making it great. So.
Yeah.
All right. That's what I'm giving it. Russell, what are you giving it?
The thing I hate the most that they added, because I think it's fucking stupid, because he doesn't necessarily have to be a good guy.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I totally forgot that was even in this. I took Nathan's advice and just blocked it out.
Is they add the scene where Greedo definitely shoots first, and it's fucking stupid because Han's a smuggler. He doesn't have to be a good guy. It's okay he knows Greedo is threatening him. He knows that Greedo is going to shoot him if he doesn't shoot him. It's okay that Han shot first.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
It was still in self-defense. He was just preemptive, and they should not have changed it, especially under the premise of just making Han to be a better person. It's fucking stupid.
Yes.
It's the thing that pisses me off the most. And because of that,
I totally forgot about it.
I also give this version a very low score of a 6.
Whoa.
But
damn,
original New Hope would probably only get a 7.5, 8 anyway. The score and the pacing are really good. The story's okay. But it was one of my least favorite Star Wars movies.
I really like it, but
it's my least favorite of the original trilogy. And then we'll rank them all later.
Yeah. Okay. Nathan, what you got for me?
I like this movie. And I'm not going to compare it to the 1970, fucking theatrical release because I never seen it.
I can't. Oh, man, I'm so sorry.
I wasn't born yet.
I didn't see it in theaters, but I saw a VHS of it.
It might have been different, though, in theaters.
Yeah, it was the version I watched
versus the VHS.
The first 10 times.
I've not, I have what I have.
Yeah.
That's what I have to go by. So I'm not going to compare. I know they added some shit in there. I'm just going to chalk that up as Lucas being a dill hole.
That is what it is.
Okay. For the story, for what it is, it's good. Like I said, I don't really believe in that, Destiny Force shit. Whatever,
Yeah.
It happens. It plays out for a better story. that's what makes sense off of it. It's the beginning of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It's the beginning of a lot of money, fandom, college classes. Like,
Yeah.
it's the beginning of a complete era that defined, mankind and cinematography and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That took special effects from what they were then
Mm-hmm.
to what they are now. Movie's a 10. It's just, this is what it is.
Okay.
Because it starts everything for the franchise, for what it is now. Any other score is stupid.
Okay.
Like, I just look at the whole picture. I'm not looking at like a section.
Okay.
Now, the other things that we watched were garbage compared to this.
Yes.
Maybe what we will watch. I don't know yet. I'm going to be optimistic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll give it an actual rating.
You're going to give it a 10.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll take it.
A US 10.
Wait,
So
now I'm
it's
confused.
still worth more in this country than any other country.
A US 10.
So if every other country, their top level is a 9, it still gets a 10 here.
What?
I don't know. I'm just as confused as you are.
He's talking out his ass. What
Stay
the fuck
tuned.
is going on? Okay. Well, we're going to do some plugs now.
Wait, is it because you wouldn't be allowed to rate it in China?
What are you talking about?
Oh, well, if you catch Drafty After Dark.
All right. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at DraftyQ. You can find us on YouTube at Drafty Quarters Podcast Network. On Facebook, we are Drafty Quarters Productions. You can become a patron on Patreon. Just look up Drafty Quarters Productions. We're gonna have some, or do we have anything up yet?
By the time this episode comes out, we will.
I think we've been saying that for a while.
Just on all the Star Wars episodes.
Oh, okay. All right. Our email is draftyq@gmail.com if you want to hit us up. If you have any movie suggestions, questions for any of the cast, or comments, complaints, adulation, please no nudes.
What?
I said please no nudes. I mean, no one's going to send us nudes anyway, but I thought it would be funny to
Can I
say
get
it,
some
but
dick
then you
pics?
asked me about it, and yeah.
Please send all your dick pics to @CrimsonRingPod.
Yeah, so there's the Twitter handles for the other shows at Crimson Ring Pod, at Drafty Dames, at Big Smooth, which is Nathan, and at Woodscale1, which is Doug from Crimson Ring. That's going to do it for this episode of DQP Does. Why don't you just trust your instincts? Sorry, I'm texting Ryan because he decided to text me just now
You're
about posting on the Facebook page. Welcome back to DQP Does, the Drafty Quarters Productions. No, sorry. I'm going to try that again.
We're doing the Drafty Quarters Productions?
I was going to do the Drafty Quarters Podcast Network movie review show.
Do we change the name like Friday Night SmackDown?
No. It's WWE Friday Night SmackDown, not WWE's
With an
Friday Night
apostrophe S?
SmackDown. Yeah.
Okay.
This has been a production of the Drafty Quarters Podcast Network.